Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. We are live from Tijuana, Mexico. Today is Thursday, October 3rd, from the year 2024. There's a lot of things that we need to discuss, a lot of world topics. The most important ones is the ones that I'm about to point out. Israel is getting massively attacked, just breaking for everybody. Israel massively attacked. The informative reports are saying that today Israel was attacked massively again. Over 200 rockets today that were sent over the territory of Israel by, although Iran, Hezbollah using their proxy, and also Israel has been striking back into Lebanon. Also, they hit yesterday, they hit Beirut. There was an attack, a drone attack that particularly killed one of the IDF soldiers of Israel. But, ultimately we'll get to that right now. There's a lot of alerts coming in also, as we are going to put the map of alerts right now coming in for people to be continuously, and we will be live showing you all of this in the minute as we are going and as we are moving forward. But as it right now, we want to show to you, every single one of you, what it is going on right now in terms to the immigration situation. Hold on one second right here, people. Excuse me. Excuse me. I have a problem with my stand and my microphone. Hold on just 1 second, people. I will be right back in. We're back. This is what is actually happening as of right now. I'm going to put it on screen. You can go to our webpage as Oscar Blue Ramirez News and check this. Check this. What this just happened in south of the border of Mexico. Mexican soldiers killed 6 people after opening fire on a group of 33 migrants. Now, this has happened before, and I'm going to tell you why it has happened before, because the smugglers and the traffickers, they go around the checkpoints. And as they are going around the checkpoints, the military tells them to stop. Of course, the smugglers, as they know that they're going to get caught, the smugglers are not stopping. So they try to go around it. And even though they go around it, when they know they need to stop, and they don't stop. And, the military, when they see that, they take that as an aggression. And also they take that as a, not obeying an order for you to stop. So, ultimately it gives them the authority in one way to say to the smuggler or to the one that is driving, something you don't want to stop because of some reason. And this has ended up in this catastrophe that Mexican soldiers killed 6 people after opening fire of a group of 33 migrants that they're being smuggled. Now, get to know, all of this smuggling, all of this trafficking has been incentivized by the open border policies of Kamala Harris and Biden administration, and also has grown so much, this massive trafficking activity, since the Biden administration took over. So the article says this. You can go to Oscar Blue Ramirez News and find this article on our webpage. Mexican soldiers kill 6 people after opening fire of a group of 33 migrants. Then it goes, the Mexican authorities also confirmed that 10 other migrants were injured. The Mexican Defense Secretary reported on Wednesday that members of the army killed 6 migrants after shooting a pickup truck that had tried to evade military patrol, in which they assumed was part of those used by criminal groups in the region. The military personnel reported hearing explosions. So 2 elements activated their weapons, shooting one of the pickup trucks. The entity explained about the event in the press release. According to the statement, the soldiers, upon approaching, identified 33 migrants. Listen to this. This is what is aggravating. And this is why nobody knows who's coming in and who is coming out. Listen to this. Just a little while ago, I reported that 6 migrants, they rented or they paid out a private charter plane, a private plane, to get from Tapachula all the way to the borders of the United States of America with Sonora. Now, and those people were 4 from Egypt and 2 were from, I think it were from Lebanon. Now, on these people that they were on this shootout, they said, according to the statement, the soldiers, upon approaching, identified 33 migrants from Egypt, migrants from Nepal, migrants from Cuba, migrants from India, migrants from Pakistan, and a lot of them from Arab nationalities, of which 4 have died. This is the aggravated thing about it, that you have now a mass infiltration migration for migrants, that they are infiltrating with the cartel, paying the cartel to be smuggled, and sadly, this happens to them. These migrants that they paid the cartel to be smuggled and infiltrated on the back of a tractor trailer or in the back of a pickup truck, possibly they were not wanted to get identified. So they paid the cartel to be non-identified and to smuggle them and to cross them all the way to the United States, or particularly to the location or destination that they wanted to. But let me give you again the data. It says 33 migrants of Egypt, Nepal, Cuba, Indian, Pakistani, and Arab nationality. Why don't they say which nationality from Arab nationality? We don't know why. Particularly, possibly to protect the institution, or to ultimately to not get into international conflictual situations. But this tells you about the level of trafficking that is being exposed right now, and that it's coming right now into the United States of America that nobody knows. And that basically this can aggravate and this can grow into a position where, you know, you have a mass migration now from people from Egypt that they want to play charter planes. They are playing private planes. Lebanon, you know, recently a guy from Palestine was detained, that he was a potential terrorist, that he was on a terrorist watch list, and he had a prior of creating explosives and artillery. You have all these people, and now this massive shootout, 4 of them with the military died, that they were from these Arab nationalities. Also, they say that the military personnel provided first aid kit to the wounded, immediately transporting them by vehicle to the General Hospital of Wixla, which I have been there in Wixla, walking and documenting multiple caravans. Another 10 migrants were injured. The 17 migrants who were placed under the disposition of the National Institute of Immigration, the secretary mentioned. In addition, it is specified that the Attorney General's office to the Republic was informed so that it can carry out the corresponding legal proceedings and determine the responsibilities that correspond to the authority. Also, in addition, the Ministry of National Defense highlights its commitment to act with the full weight of the law in the rule of law under policy of zero impunity, and it is attentive to requests from civil authorities to clarify the facts. The most aggravated thing about this shooting, about the Mexican soldiers killing 6 after opening fire of the 33 migrants, it is this. Who's incentivizing this to continue? It is the open border policies of Kamala Harris and Biden and Mayorkas. Plain and simple. This will not be happening at this aggravated manner and this increasing manner if it wasn't for the open border policies of Alejandro Mayorkas and Kamala Harris. Now, the aggravating thing about it is that now you're seeing more people from the Middle East paying the cartel to be infiltrated into walking infiltrated or being infiltrated in automobiles or in vehicles that they don't want to be seen, going around checkpoints, that these checkpoints are really meticulous, from the military, from the National Guard, from the Ministry of Defense. All these checkpoints, they're all around particular cities which they are violent. In Tijuana, you see a lot of them all the time in every neighborhood and every place. Why? Because the cartel and the organized crime activity, it is so incredibly high. Even though I can tell you examples in Tijuana, they have found dismembered bodies in these vehicles that they are being checked. They have found artillery. They have found dead bodies, which a guy just driving through a checkpoint just as normal as a day can be. They stop the guy and then immediately say, open your trunk, and then you will have 2-3 bodies in there. This is why they do these checkpoints. Now, if the vehicle try to go around the checkpoint, it is because something he was hiding. And if he did not stop when the authority is telling you, and this is the military telling you to stop, well, the military has the authority to open fire. Why? Because you're going around the military, man. Something's not right. Sadly, people are losing their lives because the smugglers and the coyotes, as we have been telling you, the traffickers, they do not care about the migrants' lives. And all of this is happening because of this global compact on migration, because of these open border policies of these lefties that they want to continue with this business, these NGOs that they're profiting out of millions of dollars out of human misery. All of this is happening on top of that. But when you have a coyote or a trafficker that is a driver and already knows that he's going to get busted and goes around the inspection point, well, buddy, guess what you're going to get? And sadly, that happened. So this informative report, you can find it. I will be posting and making an exclusive video about this in a few moments when I finish this live feed. Just for everybody to know, according to the statement, the soldiers, upon approaching, identified 33 migrants of Egyptian, Nepalese, Cuban, Indian, Pakistani, and Arab nationality, of which 4 of them have died on this shooting. This continuously happens. Now, after this, you will have that the military personnel is going to be under investigation. This always happens. It doesn't mean that they're going to be found implicated or they're going to be found guilty. After this, the military who was involved on the six migrants that they were dead, they are detained or they are being under investigation. This informative report also, you can find it on our webpage. It's Oscar Blue Ramirez News. You can say right there that the Mexican president, now the new Mexican president, the First Lady President, Claudia Sheinbaum, this Thursday, she communicated that she wants to send an investigation of the shooting of the military involved on the transporting of illicitly migrants that provoked the death of 6 of them in the south of Mexico. And I hope that every information it is on the disposition of the Fiscal General of the Republic. Also, she insisted that she needs to move forward with the investigation, also in the investigation to the military police. So the migrants, the military who did the shooting, they're under investigation. This is normal, people. It's not like they're detained. It is that they are being investigated to see why they opened fire and why ultimately also they are, particularly why they took this decision. Also, they said on the informative report, after investigating the ban, the ban which the SUV which were transporting these illicitly these individuals, the armed forces identified 33 migrants of nationality of Egypt, again, Nepal, Cuban, Indian, Pakistani, another 4 who died on the scene from Arab nationalities. 12 of them resulted critically hurt. 17 of them, they were, without harm. That is what the authorities from Mexico reported. Also, on a communicated statement, the government of Peru, through the representation diplomatic of Mexico, it is demanding the authorities should be investigated meticulously in determining if this was a responsibility of their act or it was an illicit responsibility of their act. So this continuously and thoroughly happens a lot. And this is for a lot of people that there are, a lot of people that are watching, they're saying, "Oh, this, what the hell happened, Oscar Blue? What this happens a lot," and I will tell you why it happens, because the market to move people illicitly from the south to the north, it starts on this particular border, which I have walked more than 11 caravans. This particularly tells you immediately that the illicit movement of migrants from the south into the north, it is huge. It is big. It is huge, and not only that, that ultimately this will take you to think why this has grown so much and why the Biden administration is saying that the illegal crossings are decreasing, because now you have the CBP app. What the Biden administration did, and let me tell you what they did. I will inform also about this. This is what they did. They know that elections are coming, and they know that one of the things that it has ruined their immigration policies is of people crossing illicitly through non-ports of entry, right? So what did they do? Strategically, they said, we need to decrease those numbers so people can understand that they're not crossing illegally through non-ports of entry. So what do we need to do? We need to increase the CBP app. Do not take away the opportunity for them to cross. We need to increase the CBP app. So where does all this mass migration start? They asked. And they said, well, they crossed through a water raft in Guatemala to Tapachula. Well, let's move the CBP app over there. So before the CBP app 1, the app that a lot of the migrants are using, it was not in Tapachula. It was all the way to the center of Mexico. So the smugglers used to go a lot all the way to Tapachula and transport illicitly migrants, what is happening right now, into the city of Mexico. Example, this illicit act. So a lot of the migrants, they get desperate and they don't want to wait for the CBP app. This happens a lot in Mexico. So they carry on to hire a smuggler or a trafficker to move them all the way to the northern borders so they can be crossed illicitly through these non-ports of entry, which we all know what happens next. So what happened this time? The Biden administration said, well, the only way that we can decrease the illegal entrances is by people using the app. So they moved the app all the way to the south border of Tapachula, so the mass migration from the south will not continue to the central parts of the country. And from that, it will not expand to the northern borders. And all the numbers, they're coming in massively into the CBP1 app, not through illicit crossings. It comes through the CBP1 app. So the cartel, it is operating massively now with infiltrations of the system of the CBP app, hacking of the CBP app, transporting people through particular ports of entry that they are going to get immediately through the CBP app, transporting them out to the desperate people that they want to get out and they don't want to wait 2 to 3 months for the CBP app, moving them all the way to the northern borders. This is a market. This market also has their dangers and their ups and downs. This is the danger right here. The danger of life and the danger that you might live and you might die. And this happened right here, a catastrophe, a tragedy where 33 were shot because the smuggler and the trafficker did not want to stop at a checkpoint, in a military checkpoint, did not stop, go around it. And when you go around it and just going around the military, what do you think they're going to expect? Imagine if you're in the United States and you have a military checkpoint and you're going around it. What do you think is going to happen in the U.S. if you're going around a military checkpoint? What do you think? So this happened over here. The military basically opened fire. And when it opened fire, well, basically they took this authority because they were acting out of the security of who is coming in this vehicle or what they're transporting. They didn't know that they were transporting people. Well, basically, they thought that they were transporting all kinds of possibly narcotics. You don't even know. Say hello to this progressive mercenary activist liberal calling me a Mexican Zionist. I prefer to be called like that instead of be calling a Mexican that supports Hamas and Hezbollah. Prefer that 1,000,000 quadrillion times. Never in my life, in my lifetime, you will see me supporting Hamas and supporting Hezbollah. I support Israel because in Israel, you don't even have Jewish people living. You have Christians. You have Maronites. You have people from Muslim. They're Muslim, also people that they're being hurt. So I support that country, which they are entitled to defend themselves against these terrorists, which they started this war in October 7th. Do not forget that. Progressive mercenary liberal. Not today, Satan. Not today. So this happened. Let's go to the other news. This just recently happened. in Israel. Eight Israel soldiers killed in Lebanon and attacks on Gaza continue. These are the 8 soldiers. Look how young they are, man. 8 soldiers. 8 soldiers killed. And for this pro-terrorist individual, Israel is a terrorist slaughtering. They're not slaughtering innocent people and children. I was in. You're the kind of individual that types and reads propaganda on the mainstream media. I went to cover the war 2 times. I went to after 1 month of October 7. I was there, and I went all the way to the border of Lebanon. And this time, second time, and I was there. There's no resistance. The hell with that. That is demonic. What you're saying. Hezbollah and Hamas are terrorist groups, and I was in the border with Lebanon when Hezbollah was continuously every day firing 30 to 35 missiles into the northern part of Galilee. I showed you yesterday more than 181 ballistic missiles. They were shot by Iran. These kind of individuals, they're the ones that they defend the tyrannical government of Iran. Disgusting. Where women, they don't have no rights. Where children, they don't have no rights. With men, they don't have no rights. These tyrannical governments of Iran, these are the ones that Barack Obama supported, the most racist president in history, the one that deported more Mexicans and Latinos in history. The president that deported more Mexicans and Latinos in history, President Barack Obama, who gave billions of dollars to Iran, the ones that they're using right now, and the ones that they use, this incompetent language, the language barrier of the fence. These are liberals. If you don't agree with these progressive, mercenary, activist liberals, which this lady right here, she is a white liberal talking to a minority like you Democrats say, or a person that is brown, like Mexican brown. If I don't follow what you say, you will tell me I'm a fearmonger, I'm creating hysteria, I am a conspiracy theorist, I'm a white supremacist, I'm a white imperialist, I'm a xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronophobic, fatphobic, racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot, Zionist, from the river to the sea, la la la, this will be free. You are a conspiracy theorist, CIA propaganda. All of this, it is your defense mechanism. If I don't follow what you say, you white liberal, I will be labeled like that. And I'm a Mexican citizen, and I live in Mexico. Imagine that. Imagine that. A Mexican citizen living in Mexico being talked down by a white progressive mercenary activist liberal who has never been in the war zone or in the impact zone in Israel, which I have been 2 times, which I have seen how Hezbollah has been attacking Israel nonstop, the northern part of Galilee. Every politician, for you progressive liberal, has said, every single politician has said, if it isn't not a lefty like Nicolás Maduro, a socialist dictator, or Petro, another mercenary dictator from Colombia. Other than that, every single politician, even your leftist politicians like Kamala Harris, which is disgusting, she has said Israel has the right to defend himself. I'm just telling you. And if you're calling me sick, I don't know what you call October 7th. Just a reminder for you. Don't ever forget October 7th. Don't ever forget October 7th. Never. So let's go back to the news. 8 Israel, sadly, soldiers killed in Lebanon. Attacks on Gaza continue. This article, you can find it also in Oscar Blue Ramirez News. The Gaza Health Ministry said 51 people have been killed and 82 have been wounded in Israel operations. Israel launched a precise strike on the center of Lebanese capital Beirut, leaving at least 5 dead and 8 wounded. The attack came hours after the Israel army deployed more infantry and armed units to the South Lebanon, adding to what it is called the localese raids against Hezbollah targets in recent days. Separately, Israel troops confirmed the deaths of 8 of its soldiers during an operation of the neighboring country. The latest moves come just a day after Iran, which backs Hezbollah, launched at least 180 ballistic missiles at Israel. Nearly 2,000 people have been killed in Lebanon since the start of the Israel strikes on September 17, according to the Lebanese government. Iran, which backs Hezbollah and Hamas fighters who control the Palestinian territory of the Gaza Strip, fired dozens of missiles at Israel on Tuesday. Another escalation in a cycle of attacks and retaliation that is brightening the Middle East closer to a regional war. Israel warned that attack will have repercussions. A lot of people are asking, are we in the third world war? We already in it. A lot of people do not agree with it, but we already in it. A lot of people are asking if we are in the third world war. We already in it. A lot of people are not even agreeing with it, but we already in it. They don't realize this, but we already in it. Sad thing about it right here. Buy me a coffee. It is right there pinned in the chat for people that want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. Buy me a coffee. It is right there for this informative report which I will be sharing personally as people are coming into the live feed and live chat. Let's see right here. This is today. This is today to these liberals. Where are you? Let me just go right here and show it. Go right here. Hold on. There you go. This is just today. Excuse me. This was just today. An informative report says this. A Hezbollah field commander was killed in a recent airstrike in South Lebanon. Amid ground operations, the Golani Infantry Brigade, the military says. The IDF releases new footage of Golani soldiers operating in South Lebanon under the 36th Division. In a joint operation with the Israel Air Force, the military says a building in South Lebanon in the area where the Golani soldiers were operating was struck. The strike killed the commander of Hezbollah regional unit in the area and other top field officers. The IDF does not specify which area of South Lebanon the incident took place due to the operational security concerns. Other airstrikes were carried out against Hezbollah operatives spotted by Golani soldiers in the same area of the IDF. The Golani troops also located several weapons and equipment during the operations of the military. And another report later on today at 9:31 at West Coast time was reported that nearly 200 rockets have been launched from Lebanon at North Israel today, along with several drones, according to the IDF. Amazingly, this is amazing. More than 200 rockets today. The Iran-backed Islamic resistance in Iraq takes responsibility for the drone that was shot down by the Israel Air Force over South Israel. The group says that it launched the drone at an unspecified target in South Israel. The drone was shot down over the Egypt-Israel border area. The IDF announces the IDF announces the death of another official officer killed during fighting in South Lebanon yesterday. The slain soldier, his name is Captain Ben Zion Falash, 21 years of age, of the paratroopers brigade of the 202nd Battalion from Nitzanai Oz. His death brings the IDF toll in the ground offensive against Hezbollah in South Lebanon to 9. Falash was killed in a separate incident on Wednesday and not in the battles in which 8 other soldiers were killed. This is the soldier. Young. Young, and you're talking about that he was 21 years of age. At 12:08 right now, 12:08 West Coast time, with 12:25 right now. A barrage of 10 rockets was fired from Lebanon at the Haifa Bay area, setting off sirens in the Krayot and nearby towns. The IDF says some of the rockets were intercepted and the rest struck open areas. No injuries were reported. An IDF spokesman in Arabic warns the Lebanese government that it will attack the civilian border crossing at Matsna between Syria and Lebanon because Hezbollah, it is transferring weapons from Syria to Lebanon using civilian trucks passing through this crossing. The IDF calls on the Lebanese government to inspect the incoming trucks. The IDF spokesman points out that Hezbollah was forced to smuggle weapons and ammunition through civilian crossings because other crossings were already attacked by the IDF. Attached in documentation of the attack on one of the trucks that Amallah brought to Hezbollah from Syria to Lebanon. This is how it looks right now in your map. This was today, October 3rd, as more than 200 rockets were shot. And I will read the towns that they were particularly under danger in Israel. At 11:48 with 21 seconds, in Upper Galilee, Sha'ar Naman Industrial Zone, affect Bar-Lev Industrial Zone, Ashihud, and Yasur were the ones that they were in danger. In the part of Hamifratz, Kiryat Atta, Kiryat Bialik, Kiryat Jam, Kiryat Motzkin, Kiryat Bialik Industrial Zone, those were the dangers. In Central Galilee, Tamra Industrial Zone, Tamra, Kabul, and Shafaram. At 11:48 with 22 seconds. In Menashe, Haifa, Kiryat Haim, and Kiryat Samuel were the danger zones. In Hamifratz, Hafar Bijalik. In Central Galilee, it was Ibilian. At 11:48 with 31 seconds. Central Galilee with Mitzpeh Abib. At 11:48 with 47 seconds. In Upper Galilee, it was Julis and Talel. At 11:48 with 48 seconds, it was Kafar, Masarik, Ein Hamifratz, Akko Industrial Zone, and Akko New Cemetery. At 11:48 with 54 seconds, in Upper Galilee, it was Jadeji Makar. And at 11:49 with 15 seconds, it was Upper Galilee, Yarka. Those were the places that they were alerted today, as more than 200 rockets specifically were shot into the into the south, from the south into the north borders, north borders of Galilee with Lebanon. Again, I will read an update that it was giving right now, 11:49. Another update, it was rocket sirens are sounding in Krayot area, North Haifa. And also at 12:08, a barrage of 10 rockets were fired from Lebanon to Haifa Bay area. Also, it was informed at 9:31 a.m. West Coast time, nearly 200 rockets have been launched from Lebanon at northern Israel today, along with several drones, according to the IDF. The constant attacks from Hezbollah, from Iran, now directly into Israel are massive, devastating, and they are with an intention to overwhelm the Iron Dome and to penetrate the Iron Dome. Now, I will ask to people that they are, not knowing the fact of the Iron Dome, what would happen if the Iron Dome was non-existent? If the Iron Dome was not to exist, what do you think would happen to Israel? I will tell you what would happen. Israel will be banished right now. Israel is getting attacked by the north, by the south, by the east, and by the west. Israel is getting attacked all around. And if it wasn't for the Iron Dome, Israel will be non-existent. That is what these Hezbollah and these Hamas resistance groups, that they call them, these progressive, mercenary, disgusting liberals, they are terrorists, but they call them resistance groups. That is what they want. They want the complete eradication and destruction of this country. And that is what they are trying and intending to do, as every day, this is the map, what you are getting. This is the absolute catastrophe now. The other day, with 181 ballistic missiles, you cannot even imagine how that map looked. It looked horrible. It was a complete brutal and massive attack. This continues. The attacks, we're going to bring you updates at every day, as we're going to continue to inform you guys what is going on, and potentially when it is our opportunity to go back into Israel and to report the actual facts of the reality that is these people are living in Israel. Let me just go now to report on this. This is an international news, and I'm reporting international news that it was in our webpage, Oscar Blue Ramirez News. A U.S. bomb from World War II exploded at a Japanese airport. Crazy. What was a U.S. bomb? What the hell happened there? But let's go to the article and read it. A U.S. bomb from World War II exploded at Japanese airport. Tokyo, Japan, it says right here, the article. Passengers and airport workers were surprised Wednesday in Miyazaki Airport in South Japan by an unexploded U.S. World War II bomb that had been buried, creating a large crater on a taxiway and forcing local aviation authorities to cancel more than 80 flights. Land and Transport Ministry officials said that there were no planes nearby where the bomb exploded in Miyazaki Airport at South Japan. An investigation by the Self-Defense Forces and police confirmed that blast was caused by 500-pound, 226-kilogram U.S. bomb, that there was no further danger. Now, the investigation was moving forward into what had caused the detonation. Also, they added Videos broadcast of Japanese television showing the crater of a taxiway apparently about 7 meters and 23 feet. Chief Government Secretary Yoshimasa Hiyashi said more than 80 flights at the airport have been canceled because of the incident, and he hoped that to resume operations on Thursday morning. Thank you so much to Eric McClellan. Thank you so much for the coffee. Buy me a coffee. It is right there, pinned in the chat, for people that want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. Also said several unexploded bombs dropped by the U.S. military during World War II, going back in history, have been found in the area before, according to ministry officials. So this is weird. It exploded, man. Weird. Sheesh. Weird, man. Wow. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. So the last alerts of attacks. Let me go to the last alerts of attacks for people to understand the alert zone. 46 minutes ago, let me put the alert. On the attacks on Israel. These are the bulletin information that is coming in. 46 minutes ago, there was an intended attack in Tamra Industrial Park, and Tamra, Kabul, and Shafaran. Also critical, there was another one at 47 minutes ago in Kiryat Ata, Kiryat Bilyali, Kiryat Jam, Kiryat Motzin, and Kiryat Balik in industrial zone. Then 47 minutes ago was Shar Naman Industrial Zone, Affect Barlev Industrial Zone, and Ashihud and Jasur. Then 47 minutes ago, another one was in Kafar Bijalik. Again, 47 minutes ago, at the same time, Haifa, Kiryat Haim, and Kiryat Shamul. Also, 47 minutes ago, there was an attack on Center Galilee in Ibilyin, in Mamasheh area, Haifa, Kiryat Haim, Kiryat Haim and Kiryat Samuel, also in Hamiritz, Hamifratz area, Kafir Vijalik. Also, there was an intent of attack and alert in Galilee area in Hafar Masarik, in Hamifratz, Akko Industrial Zone, Akko the new cemetery. And also, there was a red alert at Jadidi Makar in the Upper Galilee. And also, there was another alert in the Upper Galilee area in Yarka. This was the alerts right now coming in to every single one of you that is basically not understanding if this is still continuing or not. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. God bless everybody that is watching. Thank you, and thank you. Buy me a coffee. It is right there. It's right there. Buy me a coffee. It is right there, pinned in the chat for people that they are wanting to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. There's a comment right here. Oscar is heavily biased towards Israel. God bless you. I am heavily biased towards Israel because I'm not heavily biased to Hamas and to Hezbollah. I am never going to be heavily biased to terrorists. These are terrorists. They are not resistance groups. These are people that they are full with evil. I'm not going to be heavily biased to Iran, a tyrannical government that takes away the rights of women and the rights of men. I am not going to be heavily biased to these people that they are brutal and they're continuously attacking. And you and a lot of people are labelizing that they are resistance groups. And yes, I'm sticking to my agenda because it is my platform. And I can say whatever the hell I want. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. And this is how someone with an agenda acts. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you every time. God bless you at every moment. God bless you at every second. God bless you every time you breathe. This, I got to say that. God bless you every time you breathe, because I am not going to support a terrorist. Me as a Mexican doing that is like supporting the cartel. Basically, it's the same exactly the same thing. If I go and be biased on this kind of situation, non-biased, into say, well, Israel has also attacked who? The problem is these terrorist groups. You don't have these terrorist groups, believe me, there will be peace. Exactly like Mexico. Oh, Mexico just attacked a town and there were cartel, and sadly there were other people that they were involved, that they got, that they were injured. Oh wow, I'm gonna say like, oh, look at both of the sides. The cartel also is a resistance group against the government. How stupid and incompetent you are. The cartel and the terrorist groups like Hezbollah and Hamas are exactly the same. Leave it alone. There shouldn't be no bias, when the only bias should be Jesus and should be God. That's it. There's no bias there. There's only one bias. Whether you follow good or you follow evil. And I don't follow Satan, man. That's it. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you all. Thank you, and thank you. And if you don't like it, there's the door, man. It's like I've been doing this for so many years, man. Broadcasting and also covering in places that a lot of people don't go. And a lot of these profiles, they just sit on their house and they just type. Like these progressive mercenary activist white liberals that they are supposedly writers. They go to their nice office in LA or in New York or in Chicago with their beautiful view, or in Portland, and they write from there like, oh my God, my contact in Palestine is telling me that this is happening. This is what we got to say. They never pick up their pants and whatever they wear in the middle of their pants, and pick it up and go to the place. I have done that. I've gone to the war in Ukraine, gone twice to the war in Israel, covered the war. I'm the only Mexican Latino who's ever crossed the Darien Gap 4 times with my brother Ben Berquam. That he's the first Christian journalist who's ever done it. 4 times crossed it, walked more than 11 caravans, documented all the borders in Mexico with the United States, almost got killed by the cartel in Guatemala. When you don't have no arguments, the only thing that you have is just to type on your phone. How do you suggest? It's my platform, man. Really. When you have the arguments to come at me and say, oh, I've been there also, and this is what I saw, and this, oh, let's discuss it. Let's have a decent conversation. Let's sit down. What's your bias? I don't have a bias. What's your bias? Let me just give me your bias. But when you don't even have the arguments and you just reading articles and you're just typing articles, that's just the most, so that's my belief. That's what I believe. God bless you all. Thank you so much for everybody that is watching. God bless you. Stay safe. Thank you for joining in. We will be in another broadcast and we'll be giving you guys videos in the next incoming days. Stay safe. And like we always say, God's plan, it is our mission.